So today we want to look at first thing, turning our home into a performing asset. One of the things that I observe personally in this part of the world from our community and various other immigrant community is that we like to buy big homes. And big homes, sometimes they are big liability, not assets. Unfortunately, where we are coming from, we consider buying big homes, building big homes, we consider them assets. If you buy big homes here and you are struggling to pay your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, you have not bought assets, you just purchased a liability. So how do we turn such home into a performing asset so that at least we'll be getting some income? So I brought a couple of people here who are going to share their experience on short rentals. Short rentals which include Airbnb, Booking.com, Canada Stays, and the likes. So they are just going to share their own experience. And even the HomeStay program, I also have a person here who has been doing HomeStay for the past 2 years. So it's one of the ways that I consider that you can turn your liability possibly into an asset. So I'm going to introduce Lois. Lois is going to be speaking. Lois is an immigrant from Indonesia. She's going to be sharing her own experience for a few minutes, how she's able to turn a home, a duplex, into a performing asset for her. Welcome, Liz.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Lois. I arrived in Canada in 2011. So I'm here to, I'd like to share my experiences, my ups and downs, all the mistakes I made in real estate, hoping that those mistakes I made could help, it could provide a good information for everyone wanting to get into real estate. So just to provide my background, in the past, I am not interested in real estate at all. I think what's so interested about just owning those big building, right? Big house, I'm just not interested. And I think the value increase in value is just too slow, so I'm not interested. But at that time I was in stocks, and I'm so interested, the volatility in stocks, right? You spend 5,000 and then you get 5,000 in just a matter of weeks or months, right? Comparing that to real estate, stocks is so much more dynamic. So that time I played a lot in stocks, and I made, fast profit quickly. But then over time, well, of course, everything comes with your ability, right? Your skills, your knowledge, and etc. I guess my skills and knowledge, etc., is not enough to make me profitable sustainably in stocks. So yes, I did. I made $5,000 after investing $5,000 2 times. But then on the third trade, I lost more than the total of my profit. So, but never give up, they say, right? So I did it again. I made huge profit. Another one, huge profit. And then on the third one, a bigger profit, a bigger loss than the total of my profits, right? So yes, but again,
are you greedy or what?
I think I am. I think honestly,
it's greed.
yes,
It's greed.
yes, and I know that. But the funny thing is, I keep on making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
I told myself, those people that lost in stocks is because it's greed. I know that, and when I did that, I did all the possible stop and loss, not to put too much than what you can lose, right? But history told me I lost all those money, right? So again, yes, it's greed, and that is what caused me to lose all that. But again, that's what happened, right? So I'm not blaming stock for my loss, because again, that was my fault, right? So eventually there was a time where I thought, okay, Lois, you need to grow in your future, right? Like at that time, I was an employee. So I want, as anybody should, they should look for betterment, right? So I come to, okay, Lois, you need to have something more than just being an employee that could provide you better future financial betterment. But I don't know what kind of business that I like, or so finally I came into this, there's a lot of seminars about real estate, right? So I come to one of those seminars, and those seminars taught me about what real estate can do for you, about like the increase in value over time. Like if you stick to it, then it's different than buying a car or anything, because with real estate, land doesn't increase in, land is limited. It doesn't increase in value, but people, the number of people increase, right? So that makes the value in land increasing over time. And everyone needs a place to stay, right? A place to live. That's why, everyone needs houses. So, and a lot of other benefits of owning real estate. So, okay, I think real estate is what I need to go with, instead compared to other kinds of business. So at that time, I'm interested in stocks and real estate. Now, so over time, I had no money left in stocks because I lost it all. But eventually, my family said, Lois, if you want to, my dad said, Lois, I have these funds. You can use it for if you need anything. So, okay, I'm not going to use that for stocks because my stocks isn't proven profitable for me, for my situation. So I used it for real estate, because real estate is like, you have insurance. So in case, your risk in real estate is like, if you buy a real estate, your house is still there, right? Okay, you can say, well, if a fire happens, I'll lose everything. Well, yes, that's why insurance is very important, right? So anyway, then I have my first house. Most important is when you buy a house to look for profit to make out of the house, make sure that all the numbers work, right? Just as in any other business. The purchase price should be correct so that your installments would be lower than the possible income that you can make. That all can be researched. You can see how much rental prices are in certain areas, so you can calculate those. So again, I bought my first property, and then I thought, okay, I'll start making money out of it, right? So first, I started with Airbnb because it seems the least risky, because I'm so scared of putting people in a long-term contract. So I started with Airbnb. It's because it's just daily stays, right? So I started with that. But it turns out that Airbnb, in my experience, takes up a lot of my time because of the cleaning. And an important thing to know as well, all properties can be made into Airbnb. You have a living room, that can be an Airbnb. You have a couch, that can be an Airbnb, right? Everyone can, travelers, they just need a couch to sleep on. You have yourself an Airbnb. It's as easy as that. They can just stay a night, 2 nights, however you want it to be, right? That's why I tried it. But then, the cleaning and stuff, like, it becomes a full-time job in itself. So again, all properties can be an Airbnb. If you have a space at your home, you can have yourself an Airbnb experience. But not all properties can be a good Airbnb, right? Only certain properties can be a good Airbnb. So if you want to try Airbnb, I would say go ahead. I think even though so right now I'm not in Airbnb anymore right now because my property that I have does not have what it takes to be a successful Airbnb. So to be a good Airbnb, you need a good place, like downtown, I imagine, would be a good place for Airbnb. In UOM would be a good place for Airbnb because a lot of people travel in that spot, right? And then apartments tend to be a good Airbnb simply because apartments are cheaper than single house. So if you have cheaper purchase, your monthly payments are lower, right? So if your monthly payments are lower, then the easier you make profits, right? So with my house, I didn't have as low purchase property as I need to be a successful Airbnb like that. So again, right now I provide in my house. I put monthly tenants because it requires much less of my time like that. So logically, it would make sense for an Airbnb. Like monthly tenants, let's say you get $500 per month for one tenant to stay month to month. So logically, it would make sense if your Airbnb to make more than $500 to make it worthwhile, right? Because monthly tenants, you don't require anything. They just stay in your house. You do nothing at all. They just stay. You get $500. For Airbnb, you need to have more work, more admin, replying to inquiries, right? And you have cleaning. Yes, you can assign cleaning too. You can hire a cleaner, but it does require more work on your part. For instance, but yeah. So all of that, it makes more sense if your Airbnb should make more profit income than your monthly rental. So that again, you should calculate in the beginning. But then again, I don't want to discourage anyone from trying Airbnb because I didn't regret trying Airbnb because those are still a valuable experience that I can learn from in my overall real estate experience. So yeah, so that's my short.
My name is Nke Shoguson. And when I got to Canada, the first thing that came to my mind is about owning a home. I came with just 3 kids and just by myself with them. And anytime we're in the apartment, I'm always telling them that you guys don't make noise, don't destroy this. I don't want my security to be taken away. I want to take my security deposit back. So they're always like, oh my God, I'm tired. And even me too, I was tired of that life. But it's really hard for one income to put that down payment together and with the 3 kids. So I started figuring things out in my head. I started planning, and what I do is like, I just take a step of faith and like, if this is what you want, just keep doing it. So every Saturday and every Sunday before church or after church, I go to show homes, I go to pre-owned homes, I look at it and I behave as if, yeah, I really want to buy this house. I wasn't gonna buy a house because I don't even have the money. So at a point that I was really serious about it, I had to work it out financially and look at what I can do myself. So I started looking at the area, and I have my brother-in-law here who is really nice and very supportive. So he's always like telling me that I know you can do this thing. So I'll tell him that no, I can't do it. I'm scared. How do I pay the mortgage with 3 kids? Everything, my salary will just, no, I don't want to buy a house and the next moment I'm not sleeping in it. Or maybe they just like put foreclosure in front of it. So but later, when I started looking at things I can do, even if I have a house, what are the things I can do to like help me with paying the mortgage, or maybe even not paying the mortgage if possible? Something I can do. So I looked at it and I'm like, oh, government is not even offering any fund to single parents and paying their mortgage. Oh, government side is not working. What else can I do? So at the point we were just talking, and he told me about this thing, about the HomeStay. I looked at it. It wasn't really like real to me, or maybe it's possible. So when I got the house, he just told me that the idea of where we're looking at is we're not looking at a place that we're not going to have people to rent the place. So forget about southeast side of the city. Don't even go there. Of course, you don't want to live downtown. Yeah, so where do you look at? We have to look at where there's school, as in where university is. So we started coming to Pemina area, and I said, you know what, the worst place ever to live is that Pemina. I never liked it. It's so busy. And he said, why don't you like it? I should confess. I said, lots of Nigerians, and you know I want to just hide my head. So he said, that is not your business. Just go and do what you have to do. So we started looking, and we got a place. And when I got the place, I was lucky to get the place. The house has been on the market for 3 months. People have been going there. They've done open houses. If anybody knows Tony Nicholson, she's always selling a house. But this house did not sell. I don't know. And I just saw it. I just told my agent that, oh, can I go and actually look at this one? Said, oh, you want to look at it? I said, yeah. And we went to look at it. I looked at everywhere. The place was okay. The house was okay. So I was asking him, why didn't this house sell? He said, because maybe it was overpriced. I said, no, between one of it, like the one down the road that is the same design and everything, sold for even higher than this. And I looked at the back of that one. It's even smaller than this. This one is corner piece. Why didn't it sell? He couldn't figure it out. He couldn't even think, as in really analyze the whole thing. But I was like, there must be something wrong with it then if it's not selling. So I brought my brother-in-law in that let's look at it together. He said, oh, this is the best house I've ever seen that we've looked at. Let's just do it. I said, okay, let's start doing it. So I called the inspector, we looked at it, the normal thing he would do. And because I was curious, because the house did not sell, I told him to do the infrared, like the camera thing, to look into the walls and the basement and make sure there is no cracks. And he looked at it. There were nothing was cracked. The thing was perfect. So why didn't he sell? I kept poking my nose, and my brother said, you're just going to lose the house. So when I put in my offer, and at that point, I was dragging, I started giving excuses, and they've accepted my offer. I said, oh, the glass is broken here, they should change it, that they should reduce the money, because I said, okay, maybe since they couldn't sell it, they're actually looking for somebody, I can look for something to reduce the price. So I said, something is not good, this one is not good. They said, don't worry, we'll fix those things. You don't have to reduce the money. So they did all of those things. And we got into the house eventually. And when we got there, I started getting scared. But because I have this at the back of my mind, fortunately for me, I have a friend that has been bothering me that, oh, I know somebody about real estate and everything. That was how I started, and I met Mr. Aki, and he started encouraging and talking to us, and we go to his lectures free, just like you're sitting down here free, right? You're part of it. Yeah. So he's a very nice person, and guided and talked about it and encouraged me. He has actually not done HomeStay before, but I said, because of the encouragement, I said, okay, I'm going to do it, and I've been enjoying it so far. I've been enjoying it. So HomeStay basically is about HomeStay is basically hosting international students in your home, and you provide safety environment for them, and you make them comfortable just like as if they're in their home, the way you would treat your own kids, and even if you don't have kids, the way you treat a sibling or a friend being around you. They just want a place for them to be so that they don't have so much of the culture shock. So they want like family settings somewhere different from staying in the hostel or staying with their mates in school. So who are the people that can host? It can be couple, and when I mean couples, because we're in Canada now, we don't have exceptions. It can be man and woman, it can be man and man, it can be woman and woman. So, and single person too can host. A male, it can be a single guy, it can be a single lady, and you can host students. Then single parents as well, they can host. So there's nothing like maybe this is who you are, they don't judge you based on whatever. The only judgments that will come is maybe from criminal record check. And where can we host? we can host in rental apartments. So if you're renting your apartments and you have a room to host a student, then that's fine. If you own your own house, your own condo, it's also okay. Then there are requirements that needs to be met, and that's when I mentioned that the only thing that can get the camel's back is the police information check and the child abuse registry check. Everybody needs to go through that. If just like you want to get a job, because it's just like you're having a job and they are going to pay you as well. So you have to pass all of these things because you're dealing with children from teenagers. At times they actually bring in even the little ones that are still in elementary school, which depends on maybe their own country. Then you need references from people that knows you to say, okay, this is the kind of person this person is, to be sure that you can actually have the students with you. And usually they ask about 2 or 3 references. Then the resources you need personally is you need time. Yeah, Lois was talking about time, but the time that you need is not like Airbnb time. No, it can't be compared to that. The time that you need is time for the students, just to create time for them to be at home with them. Usually when I close at work at 5:30, I just want to stay at work and not come home to my 2 troubled children. I just want to stay there, and so that I'll relax, I'll have my own quiet time. But when I think about my students at home, I have to be at home to like see them come in, or maybe I see them at home already and they see me before they go to bed and say, oh, how are you? How was your day? How did everything go? Did you have your classes today? Just check on them, just the way you check on your children. You have to always do, you just have to, they are part of your family actually, that's what they want.
Yeah.
If it's a boy or a girl, if it's anything that the child is in your house, you have to carry them along and check on them that they are actually doing fine, because that is what they need. They are coming from somewhere they are used to and coming to where they are not used to. You need to make everything comfortable for them. And you know, one thing that you need to realize too is that this has a review too. They make reviews, because if they go to the coordinators and say they don't like your house, they will remove them. That you need to change me, and they will have to remove them. So you have to create time for them and let them know that you are present in their life. Do you have anything that you want to talk about? Are you having any issues? Do you need any help with your assignment? They usually come to learn English, most of them. So that way you will be present in their life. So that is what you actually need time for. And time to make sure that everything is right in the house, everywhere is clean, the way it's supposed to be clean. Then organization. Like you manage the whole needs, the whole competing needs. You have the needs of your children. You have the needs of somebody else living with you. All those things need to be like coordinated. You don't want to mess things up. Maybe you just forget to go to a school. Maybe you're supposed to be in the student school and you're supposed to be in your child's school as well. You need to know how to balance that up. Which one should I go at this time? Which one should I not go at this time? Or you just have to be able to manage it and organize everything. You cannot forget about picking them at the airport or dropping them off. Everything that they need to do, you either create a calendar and put those things on your calendar and you remind yourself. And that is what I do most of the time. If I know that I have a pickup to do at the airport, I need to put it on my calendar, and the calendar reminds me a day before. So that I don't forget. At times you don't snooze the calendar, you just like dismiss it. But what I do is that I make all my children, the 3 of them, my calendar. I'm picking this person tomorrow, and this is the name of the person coming. And my little son will keep asking, what did you say her name is? I will like tell her, okay, what time? I will tell them. So that way, there's nobody that is missing anything. So any program coming in around that time, we're putting it together that I will drop you here at 1, I will drop you there at 2, at 4 I have to be at the airport. So then open-mindedness, that takes me back to when I was talking about the gender of who can live in your house. So you have to be open-minded about whatever, because at times we don't see the picture of who is coming to the house. We only know the name. So you might just like all of a sudden see in front of the house, we are expecting a boy and you're looking at somebody that looks like a girl in front of you. There's nothing you can do about it. So you have to be open-minded. Let's just take it like that. I am a good Christian, I don't support it. But I can't throw people away,
Of course.
no matter what. And I know that based on that, I should not be judged, because there's nowhere I can throw anybody. because I am a sinner, I am not saint, and God is not throwing me away. He's not garbaging me. So if they bring somebody that I don't know about and they bring it in front of my house, of course I will definitely have to accept that person. And based on my experience, because I'm actually talking about my experience, my first students that came just came like all of a sudden because she needed to switch home from where she was before. She was having troubles there. So when she came, and my daughter, she's 17, she just peeped from the window and she's like, does everybody understand Yoruba? Oh, no, it's I'll interpret it, don't worry. Just like, shock really? I'm like, seriously, what are you saying? Stop. Because she was scared, we're taking only female students, we're not taking male students. So by the time she was seeing her, she thought, she was a boy. She's like, is he a boy? I'm like, no, he's not a boy. So later I was asking her that, why do you have problem about having a boy? I said, because I don't want to fall in love now with a stranger. So I was like, that way I had to start teaching them to be open-minded too. She lived with us for 1 year and she enjoyed her stay with us. And this morning we were trying to talk about her when my daughter was saying, Mommy, I'm going to do this PowerPoint for you because I did it. And she was trying to fiddle with it. And like, how did you know it? Who taught you? She mentioned her name. She actually taught my daughter how to make PowerPoint, my 10-year-old daughter. So those are the things that we can also benefit from being open-minded. There are things that you don't see that are strange, but when you keep your mind open about it, you won't have issues to think about. Then yeah, when I was talking about open-minded, so it's just all about these things that you can expect from the students. They can be all of this. Their age ranges from, usually now I've only had a 17-year-old, but I know that they have the younger ones too that come to elementary school, depending on maybe the parents sending them. So, but they have younger ones as young as maybe 10 years. But usually it's 17, 19, and they can be as old as like even 50. I have somebody right now that is about 36 years living with me. Then the language is usually a barrier. They come from different countries that they don't even have our own accent. It might not even be African country. So they might be from, like the ones I've had Japanese, I've had Vietnamese, and they don't speak much English. So when I had the Japanese, she couldn't really say anything much in English. So she uses the translator. So you have to really be patient with them regarding the language part because they don't understand. You cannot talk too fast. You have to like try to interpret it. At times I type in English to translate to Japanese. I say, this is what I'm trying to say. She was not like, oh. So you need to really be patient with them and understand that they believe or religion. If you go to church, they might not be religious. They might be Buddhists. They might be anything. They might not even know anything about Jesus. And I've had student that doesn't even know Jesus exists. He's like, oh, I used to see one man that does this. So she doesn't even understand what it's about. So you might have those people so that when you're going to church, you just walk away. You can only ask them that, are you religious? Do you go to church? And if she or he says no, then you just have to leave them. You can't force them. You can't do anything. I always leave them at home if they're not going to church. Then their character and attitude. At times you might not like things that they do, but if you correct them instead of nagging around about it, I think most kids try to understand that and appreciate it. Because they're new, most of them are usually quiet. But when you talk to them and say, oh, this is what I don't like, this is what you shouldn't do, then they understand. But they have different characters. There can be ones, because Canada allows 18-year-olds to start drinking. They can be drunkard at times. And they can be like people that clubs a lot. So you will need to like walk that around with them by talking to them. So your responsibility as a host, there are two things I need to say before this. As a host, you will need to go and pick them at the airport and drop them off. Then when they get into your house, there is orientation you will need to give them. This is what we do here, this is what we don't do. In some countries, they don't flush toilet roll in their toilet, they drop it in the garbage. There's no how you want to make that change at times. But when you tell them that no, we don't put it in the garbage, when you finish it, you drop it in the toilet and you flush it. Okay, we don't flush paper towel, this is paper towel, this is tissue paper. So you don't flush this in the toilet so that it doesn't block. So you need to give them that orientation from the beginning as soon as they're getting into your house. If it's like maybe in the morning, they just relax a bit and start showing them things that they need to know about your house so that they don't bomb the house. Then safety is really important to everybody, just the same to the student that are coming into. You have to ensure that they are in a safe environment, like letting them know the safety plan in the house, the fire safety plan in the house, where the fire extinguisher is, because at times they require you to have fire extinguisher at home at times. Then for food, like Mr. Akin was saying, you have to provide 3 meals per day. So you do the grocery shopping. And they do the breakfast by themselves, but you provide those things, and they do the lunch by themselves. But dinner must be prepared by one member of the family, not the students. So if it is sandwich they take to school, make sure you're providing bread, you're providing ham, anything that they need, the cheese, vegetables. You have to provide all the groceries that they want and the fruits. But your family member must cook dinner for them. And that's what I do. But at times I'm so lucky that I have students that will say, no, don't worry, don't cook, I want to be cooking myself. And that way, I don't even know what is happening in the house. I just put the food there. What do you need? At times they just text me what they need when you are coming, just like the way my kids will do. Mommy, when you are coming, buy this. So the same way, that's what I make them to do, just to make sure they are comfortable. So just text me. If you forget in the morning, text me when you get home before I get home. Then amenities, there must be a proximate washroom to their room. Not that they will live in the basement and the washroom is on the 2nd floor. They will not even approve of the house. You have to make the washroom just close to their bedroom. Then they should have access to the laundry, and they should have access to the Wi-Fi in the house. That is important. And at times they require that they have access to a phone. If they don't have cell phone, they need a phone, but they can't use it to call outside Canada. But they need a phone because of emergencies. They see it as there should be a phone in the house. If there's anything happening, the student must have access to that phone and be able to call. Maybe they want to call 911 or anything. Then family activities, they are supposed to be involved with your family activities. So if you're going for movies, they are not paying you, you are going to be paying for that. So you take them along and say, oh, we're going for a movie, we're going for a game and everything. So you have to take them along. So for me, what I do for leisure is to go to my brother-in-law's house and to go and scream and dance Nigerian songs. So I take them along, let's go. We come back home 2 a.m. at times, 12 a.m. So that's what we do. But if there's something else that is extra, maybe we're going to the beach as family too, then we go to the beach as family, or Canada Day. Funny enough, at that point of Canada Day, the students that I have, they're already grown, they don't even need me around them, so they just have fun all around the place by themselves. So I didn't even go anywhere on Canada Day because they said I shouldn't worry, that she just wants to have fun with her friends. So I said, okay, that's fine. My kids don't really go out, so we just stayed at home. And then the student responsibilities is to cook the breakfast, to make their breakfast and to make their lunch. But if they make the choice of like, I want to make my dinner myself, it should be fine by you. Let them make their dinner by themselves. Some people don't like somebody cooking for them. And like my Vietnamese student that left, she never cooked. She doesn't know how to cook, but she used YouTube to learn how to cook everything before she left my house. She cooks all day, every day. If she's not cooking, I'm always surprised that, oh, you're not cooking. I said, no, I'm not cooking today. So when she had a Japanese partner in another room just beside her, the Japanese cannot cook at all. At all. These kids are rich kids. She cannot boil water at all. I'm not joking. We kept showing her that this is how to use the kettle, this is how to use the microwave. It was terrible for her. She had a very bad experience with me because I was ready to cook for her, but the other girl was cooking. And on Sunday, because both of them don't go to church, I leave them and go to church. You're supposed to make your breakfast and your lunch and I left her, I went to church. So she couldn't eat lunch because the other Vietnamese girl cooked her own food and ate and didn't cook for her. So she's like, I'm like, what is happening? And I said, I can't be cooking for her. The other one said, I can't cook for her. I said, but you should know. I learned YouTube. I use YouTube. She should go to YouTube. So I'm like, okay, no problem. They eventually pay for it. So then you make them, you give them house rules. That these are the rules. I don't know how it works in your house. Maybe you have rules for your kids. Rules are really good. It helps a lot. When I started, I don't have rules. Even till now, I don't really have like long rules that you must follow because I have my kids that I'm trying to bring up. So I couldn't, they know the rules. So I don't impose a lot of things on them that they should do this. Actually, they shouldn't have too much to do in your house other than cleaning, making sure that they clean their rooms. And after cleaning their rooms, if they cook in the kitchen, they have to clean it and make sure that, oh, this kitchen is clean. After cleaning, at times you can say, when you finish cleaning, when you finish doing things, put everything in the dishwasher and turn it on, and this is the way you turn it on. And you can leave them for that. So there's really nothing that they have to do that is like, will be a big thing. You can make them wash their bathroom. That since they share this bathroom with you, you wash today, I wash tomorrow, things like that. That when you use the bathroom, you have to always clean up after yourself. Then curfew. There should be curfew in the house. For the older ones, and that curfew actually depends on what the agency has like given you in their own expectation, because each agency, they have what expectation they want from each student. And at times they leave it to you to set that rule. Because for a 19-year-old that wants to go partying till 1 a.m., it's going to be hard to say, well, because we're in Canada, kind of a thing. It's going to be hard to say you have to be home by 10. There's really nothing you can do for a 19-year-old that is coming from somewhere that she parties till 3 a.m. So she'll expect at least give me time till this. But they are respectful enough, most of them, they are respectful enough to ask you, what time do you expect me to always come back home? And you tell them this is what works for me, because you have to ensure that they are inside the house. I've been up late till 3 a.m. when my student didn't come home. And I didn't want to because she just came and I didn't want to really ruin it for her and start calling the agency. So I just realized that, okay, the first question she asked me when we went to the store is that, do I take alcohol? So I knew that. So that day, I connected it to the day she's not coming home until 3 a.m. that, okay, she really wanted this. So maybe she's just having fun somewhere. I have to stay up late. So I was on the couch till she came in, and I just closed my eyes as if I didn't know that she just came in. But by next morning, she was so sorry because she was drunk by the time she was coming in. But she was really sorry and really apologizing. And she had to leave my house at a point because she wasn't feeling comfortable, because she felt she disappointed me. She really felt that she disappointed me. So you need to actually set rules for them and let them know that they have to obey those rules. And if they are not obeying, you can report that to their agency and say, this is not working for you. Then the process is to submit an application. Depending on the agency, then everybody, you have to submit an application. And after the application, they go through the police information and child abuse registry check. Then they send people to come and look at the homes. At times, when you of them came to the house, they had to measure the windows. They looked at the bathroom, the laundry, kitchen, and they look at the environment to be sure that it is safe. Then matchmaking. Okay, it's not matchmaking to date anybody. It's matchmaking with the students. They have to match the students' preference with the host's preference. Say, some students will say they don't want to live in a house that has pets, and maybe there is a host that has maybe tons of pets in the house. So definitely they are not going to match that student with that house. They look for another house and say, okay, this one they don't have pets. Then they look at the girl's form again. Okay, she doesn't want pets, but she wants children. Oh, this house they only have pets, they don't have children. Then they look for another one that has no pets with children, and they match things. That's how they just work it out, just to make sure that they are okay and the student is in a comfortable environment. Then the schools that are the agencies that are concerned the school divisions. If you're interested, you can look into the website of different school divisions. We have Pembina Trail School Division, we have River East Transcorner, we have Leroy School, Winnipeg School Division. All school divisions, they do it. Then universities, all universities do it. I've applied to U of M, I've applied to U of W, MITT, those are the colleges. So basically all schools do this. It's a good idea. Independent organization, so there's a particular organization in Canada that we all started from, Canada HomeStay. Yeah, so that's where we started from. So they give, theirs are different because they can connect to U of M. They have students that goes to U of M, and they have students in Winnipeg School Division because they are the ones handling Winnipeg School Division HomeStay. That's the company. I think maybe they contracted it to them, so they are the ones handling it. So if you are in Winnipeg School Division area, you need to go through Canada HomeStay. Those are the ones that does it. Then, this is actually what you want to hear, that there's money in it. Yeah, there's money in it. As a matter of fact, I always call myself a house hacker because I hacked my house up to that I left my master bedroom and I live in the basement and I live like a queen there in my basement. So, yeah, I left my I have 3 bedrooms on my upper floor. So I left 2 rooms for the students and I left the master bedroom for my 2 girls. So my son, the dad and I were just having fun in the basement. Nobody hears our noise there. Nobody hears when I'm talking on the phone, and you know Nigerians can shout. Shout, so nobody knows that I'm yelling and like, yeah, screaming. So there's money in it actually, if you know how to do it very well. How much grocery do you personally will eat in a month? You cannot, your own personal self, you cannot finish $200 grocery in a month. You will definitely waste part of it if you really know how to manage. Yeah. Individual person, just one person, $200 grocery, because when I go to the store at times, people should not hear this, it's just because of us that I'm saying this. You are expected to spend half of your allowance on food for the students. Okay, oh my God. You're expected to spend half of your allowance for the students. So like if they're paying you $500, you're expected to spend $250 on grocery for that student. And the $250 will be for the space and for the utilities for the house. So the money is actually gone. You don't really have anything. So the money ranges from $625, which is really small, depending on the agency, like I said. And you go up to $800 per student per month. So you can't share a room, but there is a program for sharing a room which only comes up in summer, and it comes up with Pembina School Trail. Usually they can allow students to share a room if they have those students, because it depends on their country too. If the country is sponsoring people, maybe they come on scholarship. Like we have some Proyecta program at U of M, they came from Mexico, and it's the government that is sponsoring that program. So if this government says that they don't have money to sponsor summer programs for their students in their country, you might not have those students that share rooms, because there are some Japanese students that comes and they can share rooms just in the summer. So but students cannot share room. They have to have their own room, they have to have their own bed, they have to have their own desk. If the room is dark, they need table lamp. Yeah, and you need to provide them blankets and bed sheets. So I'll actually give actual allowances for some schools. For U of M, it is $750 per month, and U of M will be increasing to $800 January 2020. For Pembina School Trail, as at the last time they contacted me or we spoke.
Sorry, we have snacks at the back and water, and please let's help ourselves.
Yeah, and so for the Pembina School Trail, I think it was $750 the last time I heard about it, and for MITT, I think it's $752. Yeah, $750, I think, yeah. So for Canada HomeStay, it's a bit lower. depending on the age of the student. From 19 years old students, it's 625.
675.
675, sorry. And from 17 to 18 is 725. So,
Will you drive them to school the way they say?
no, they go to school by themselves. That's part of the orientation that you're going to be giving them. You're going to show them bus stops and show them the app that they need on their phone. You might need to take them to the mall to get them phone if they don't have phone and they're going to be here for long, like the ones that don't have phone at all. So you might need, you don't have to exchange. In fact, you're not allowed to exchange cash with any student. Any monetary transaction should not come up between you and your students in any way, that I'm selling this to you, or I'm buying this from you, or I'm helping you to buy this. No, that is not allowed at all. They are on their own. If they want to buy phone, take them to the mall, they will pay for that contract by themselves. These students, they are not paupers, they are not poor at all. When I'm talking about they are rich students, especially those ones that government is not sponsoring here, the amounts, their tuition alone is about $15,000 for high school. Some students pay as much as $15,000 for their high school. For their parents to put them in a home for $700 a month, they are not poor. My Vietnamese student buys shoes of $300.
You had one that bought you $1,000.
So,
A winter jacket.
yeah, they are not. Yeah, the same thing with mine. There was the Japanese bought jacket of $400.
Yeah.
So just know it that you cannot. Don't even think about, I want to help her with $100. You are not helping her. You're actually losing the money. It doesn't, or maybe even the relationship, because anything can happen. She might decide that she's not giving you the $100 back. She might decide that she's giving you back and look at that. Why are you even collecting it back? Things like that. Anything can, money can destroy relationships. So they don't want that with the students. And because you want to have lasting relationship with them, you have to really take away things from that can really destroy that relationship. There are a lot of benefits in having HomeStay student in your house. You build everlasting even friendship for your kids. And for me, I have a student in Japan that is always calling me, when are you coming? She only spent 1 month in my house. So those are the things that one can benefit. And if you think about it and you're thinking that, oh, if I'm collecting this money, I'm going to pay taxes. No, it is an allowance. You are not expected to pay taxes. It is not an income in any way. Yeah, of course I wrote remunerations. Remunerations is income, but that income is just an allowance for you, for what you do, your time and everything that you do for the students. So they are just, it's not a profitable business. They don't see it as business to you. And that's all.
Thank you very much. That was presentation for HomeStay, which is additional way that we can earn income while we still live in our homes. Some of us have spaces in our home that we can use for short renters, like Airbnb, Booking.com, and for HomeStay.